Welcome to a very special 5 on 5. I'm joined today via Zoom by Oregon Shakespeare Festival Acting Executive Director Paul Christy and Artistic Director Nataki Garrett. Thank you both so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Nataki, as OSF's website says, the organization has always held fast to its dreams. Where does this new fundraising campaign, Dare to Dream, coincide with that core belief?
Well, this is a first for the organization and an exciting step in its digital transformation. We're actually using a digital transform that allows peer-to-peer crowdfunding funding and fundraising through social media. The Dare to Dream is a fundraising initiative that is based on or inspired by Shakespeare's text from The Tempest. We are such stuff as dreams are made on. Dare to Dream is about bringing together the OSF community, its audiences, its supporters from all over the world to support our extraordinary art making and to bring us back. It's also about supporting the communities in Southern Oregon. We know that we are a part of this community and we are a part of this ecology, and bringing us back means that we bring everybody back. So we're really excited about the Dare to Dream campaign.
Paul, for years you've been coming to Ashland before you moved here and of course took the job with OSF. You have family ties to the area. How important is OSF to the Ashland and Rogue Valley economy?
Well, you're right, Craig. For 40 years, my family's been coming here. I've now worked at OSF for 16 months. I appreciate more than ever that the impact we have and the effect we have on the arts and the life of the Rogue Valley is so impressive. I know from a factual sense that we're about a third of the local tourist economy. So we take what we do extremely seriously, and we know that continuing our productions and continuing our offerings is critical to making sure the Southern Oregon economy is alive and well.
Yeah, wow, okay. And Nataki, the OSF has been designing and developing a new interactive digital content platform that will be launched publicly next week. What can you tell us about what people can see there?
So the beauty of is that we've been developing it for more than a year. Before I got here, the team here was working on and the content of it just sort of came more into the front view with COVID and our desire and our need to sort of bridge our community's experience and their connection to the organization while we are dark. But it's a digital platform that extends OSF artistry and creativity to patrons, fans, and virtual communities all over the world. It will consist of prefaces and pre-show conversations and post-show panel discussions and coffee talks. And we're hoping that we're going to be able to stream some of our plays online. And so it'll be an opportunity for people to engage in the festival experience, but through the digital landscape. Originally, it was born out of a desire to keep some of our patrons who no longer have the same kind of accessibility that they had before to be able to come up here and spend the time because of their advanced age or because of where how their bodies are responding to travel. And so we were always looking for a way to continue to reach our long-term patronage. This was going to be the platform for that. And now it's going to be the platform for everybody to have a connection to OSF.
Pretty amazing right there. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Much more in just a moment. Welcome back to our 5 on 5 again. I'm here with Paul Christy and Nataki Garrett from the Oregon Shakespeare Festival. Paul, it's been about a month since OSF announced it temporarily laid off 80% of staff and delayed reopening until September. How are people doing right now?
Well, they're absorbing, as we are, all the news about what's happening, and we're doing as much social distancing as we can among the staff, whether it's on board right now or the company members who received layoff notices earlier in the month. You know, it's hard. Nataki and I spend 10 to 12 hours a day on Zoom calls just like this. We're connecting with all of our current and company members wherever they are, and we want them to know that we are working as hard as we can with the funds that we have to make sure that OSF stays in business, that we continue through the current period, and that we reopen. We realize that word reopen is something that's not dependent on us alone, but we want to make sure the company is healthy and ready to go.
And Nataki, you know, something like the fundraising campaign Dare to Dream, how does this help with morale with everybody and how they're doing in this current situation?
Well, the hope is that it brings everybody together around this idea of making sure that we have the cash flow that we need in order to get through this terrible crisis together. You know, I'm in conversations with theaters across the United States, and we're all sort of in the same place, trying to figure out a way to make sure that the American theater and the fabric of the American theater is strong enough to maintain itself through this terrible crisis in which, you know, some of us are actually losing our loved ones and experiencing some real loss, and people are frightened. And this kind of work, as we're working together, does provide a platform for all of us to come together and really look for ways creatively to do this work. Here's something interesting. Artists create. I mean, we create in good times and in bad times, and we reflect where the society is and what the society is doing, and we reflect that through storytelling and image. And so from now through the other side of this crisis, people are looking for ways to engage thoughtfully, with compassion, to reflect on what their experience is, and also to provide a place for other people to see their experience as well. And that's what the Dare to Dream does, is it offers that opportunity. And if you can't give in a monetary way in Dare to Dream, what it does is it lets you know that we are planning to be here. We will be a place to provide a space for artists to do their best work for 85 more years. And that is our plan here. That is what Dare to Dream offers us.
Is it possible, Nataki, that we'll see some truly incredible work from content creators like yourself in the future due to everyone being on lockdown, for lack of a better phrase?
You know, it's funny, I have some friends who are writers, playwrights, who are saying, I just don't feel like writing. And then I have some people who are actors who are writing songs, and I have I'm a director. I'm actually a consummate problem solver. So I'm looking at the puzzle of how we're going to reopen. That's where my creativity is resting. It's fabled that Shakespeare wrote King Lear, perhaps, during one of the bubonic plagues of Europe. You know, there are all kinds of possibilities for creating art during this time. What I do know is that people need the connection of art, and they will need the connection of art during this crisis and beyond the crisis. That's what poetry is for. That's what art is for. That's what visual art is for. That's what dance is for. It's a way for us to remind ourselves of our humanity and our compassion for each other. And so I'm sure there's going to be some tremendous art out of this terrible crisis.
Well, it's good to hear. And thank you both so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Stay with us. We'll be right back.